Welcome to my channel Super Rare Coins. Today is best top 4 coins. Please don't skip this video. So let's get it started. The United States of America $quarter coin minted in 1978 at the Denver Mint, commonly referred to as the 1978 D-quarter, is a significant piece of late 20th century American coinage history. Carrying a face value of 25 cents, it was struck during the era of the Washington Quarter Series, which had been in continuous production since 1932. The D mint mark denotes its origin at the Denver Mint facility in Colorado, one of the key production centers for U.S. coins. This quarter is composed of a clad metal mixture introduced in 1965, following the discontinuation of silver content in circulation quarters due to rising silver prices and economic changes in the mid-1960s. Specifically, the 1978 D quarter consists of an inner core of pure copper and outer layers of a copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper, 25% nickel, resulting in a total weight of 5.67 grams and a diameter of 24.26 millimeters. It has a reeded edge with 119 fine grooves, a feature that serves as both a tactile and visual indicator and was historically designed to prevent the illicit practice of clipping precious metal from the edges of coins. The obverse, front, of the 1978 D quarter features the iconic portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. This portrait was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth and has remained a central design element of the quarter for decades. On the 1978 D issue, the word "Liberty" is inscribed prominently at the top, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," appears to the left of Washington's profile. The date, 1978, is struck below the portrait, and the D mint mark is located to the right of the ribbon in Washington's hair near the bottom of the coin. This year's mintage at the Denver facility was substantial, reflecting the high demand for quarters in everyday commerce during the late 1970s. The reverse, back, of the coin depicts the heraldic eagle design that had been a defining feature of Washington quarters from 1932 until the late 1990s. The eagle is shown with outstretched wings perched upon a bundle of arrows symbolizing strength and readiness to defend the nation, while 2 olive branches lie beneath it, representing peace. The United States of America arch across the top, E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many one, is placed above the eagle, and $quarter is inscribed at the bottom, denoting the denomination. This classic reverse, simple yet dignified, is one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history and was only replaced in 1999 with the launch of the 50-state quarters program. From a historical perspective, the 1978 D quarter belongs to the clad era of U.S. quarters, 1965-1998, a period that marked the transition away from silver coinage. This transition was vital to the U.S. economy because silver prices had risen to the point where the intrinsic metal value of the coins was approaching or even exceeding their face value, threatening the stability of circulation coins. By adopting copper-nickel-clad compositions, the U.S. Mint ensured a more cost-effective, durable, and sustainable coinage system. These clad quarters are known for their resilience in circulation, withstanding years of handling, vending machine use, and public transactions without significant loss of design details. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint produced a high number of 1978 D quarters, with over 287,373,152 coins struck that year. This high production volume means that most 1978 D quarters are considered common in circulated condition, and their value in worn grades generally remains at face value 25 cents. However, examples in uncirculated condition, especially those with strong strikes, full luster, and minimal contact marks, are more desirable to collectors. In mint state grades, MS65 and above, their market value can range from a few dollars to around $25 depending on quality, with superb gem examples, MS67 and higher, being considerably scarcer and commanding higher premiums. Proof-like or exceptionally struck coins are rare for this issue and can be of particular interest to numismatists. Varieties and errors for the 1978 D quarter exist, though none are considered major key rarities. Collectors often seek double dies, especially on the obverse lettering or date, repunched mint marks, RPMs, off-center strikes, die cracks, and clipped planchets from this year. Some error types can sell for significant amounts depending on their severity and visual appeal. For example, a dramatic off-center strike or a double die obverse with strong doubling may fetch tens or even hundreds of dollars. However, most standard 1978 D quarters without such anomalies are abundant. Culturally and economically, the 1978 D quarter circulated during a transformative period in U.S. history, marked by post-Vietnam War recovery, inflationary pressures, and technological shifts in commerce. Vending machines, arcade machines, payphones, and parking meters heavily relied on quarters, making them one of the most essential coins in circulation. Collectors today often see the late 1970s Washington quarters as nostalgic pieces of Americana representing a time when physical coinage was at the heart of everyday transactions. The legacy of the 1978 D quarter also ties into the broader narrative of the Washington Quarter series, which served as the backbone of U.S. quarter production for over 6 decades. Its design continuity created a sense of familiarity and stability in the nation's currency. Only in 1999 did this design give way to the dynamic state and commemorative quarters that reignited widespread public interest in coin collecting. As of now, the 1978 D quarter remains an easily obtainable coin for beginner collectors, especially in circulated grades. For more serious numismatists, the challenge lies in finding high-grade, fully struck specimens with original mint luster or hunting down rare mint errors. For investors in precious metals, the coin has no intrinsic silver value due to its clad composition, but for students of American history and coinage, it remains a significant representative of the pre-commemorative era. Next, the United States of America $quarter coin minted in 1985 at the Philadelphia Mint, commonly identified as the 1985 P quarter, represents a significant issue in the ongoing Washington Quarter series. This quarter, carrying a face value of 25 cents, is an essential part of American commerce and a historical artifact reflecting the U.S. Mint's production practices in the mid-1980s. The P mint mark, located on the obverse to the right of George Washington's ponytail ribbon, denotes its origin at the Philadelphia Mint. Notably, quarters struck at Philadelphia did not bear a mint mark prior to 1980. Thus, 1985 belongs to the early years when Philadelphia quarters began consistently carrying the P mint mark. The 1985 P quarter is made from the copper-nickel clad composition adopted in 1965 to replace 90% silver coinage. This composition features an inner core of pure copper and outer layers of a copper-nickel alloy consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The total weight of the coin is 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24.26 millimeters and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. It has a reeded edge with 119 finely cut grooves, serving both aesthetic and security purposes, originally designed to prevent the illegal practice of shaving valuable metal from the edges. The coin was produced for mass circulation and is part of a series that, by this period, had become one of the most widely used coins in the U.S., essential for vending machines, public transportation, payphones, and everyday purchases. The obverse of the 1985 P quarter features the enduring portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan and first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. The design includes the Liberty, at the top the motto, "In God We Trust," to the left of Washington's profile, the mint mark P to the right of his hair ribbon, and the date 1985 below. The overall design remained unchanged through this period, maintaining the classic aesthetic that Americans have become familiar with over decades of usage. The reverse design, also by John Flanagan, showcases the heraldic eagle with outspread wings perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing preparedness and defense, while 2 olive branches beneath represent peace. Surrounding include United States of America along the upper rim, the national motto E pluribus unum above the eagle, and the denomination $quarter along the bottom rim. This reverse was used from 1932 until the introduction of the 50-state quarters program in 1999, making the 1985 issue part of the last 2 decades of the traditional Washington quarter design. The mintage of the 1985 P quarter was substantial, with over 771,835,000 coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint that year, making it one of the more common dates of the series. Due to this high production, most circulated examples have no significant numismatic premium and are valued at their face value of 25 cents. However, the condition plays a major role in collectible value. Well-preserved uncirculated coins with strong luster and minimal marks can range from $1 to $10 in MS63, MS65 grades, while superb gem examples in MS67 or higher can command premiums upwards of $150 to $500 or more, depending on strike quality and market demand. Like other quarters of the clad era, the 1985 P issue is known to have minor varieties and minting errors, which can attract collectors. These include double dies, on both obverse and reverse, though none are majorly dramatic for this year. Repunched mint marks, RPMs are less common for the P mint mark, off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. Well-defined errors, especially those with strong visual appeal, can range from $25 to several $100s, depending on rarity and demand. Historically, the 1985 quarter circulated during a period of growing U.S. economy recovery following the early 1980s recession. Coin-operated machines, pay telephones, arcades, laundromats, and toll booths heavily relied on quarters, making them indispensable in daily transactions. Credit cards and electronic payments were still far from dominating, and thus coins like the 1985 P quarter were at the heart of physical commerce. From a collector's perspective, the 1985 P quarter does not contain silver and is not considered rare in most grades. However, its significance lies in its role as part of the continuous production of Washington quarters before the redesign boom of the late 20th and early 21st centuries. For those assembling complete date and mint mark sets, the 1985 P is an essential piece, especially in high mint state or with notable minting errors. Grading plays an important role in determining the coin's market value. Circulated grades, good to extremely fine, hold no more than face value. About uncirculated, AU, grades show minimal wear and may range slightly higher in value. Mint state, MS60, MS63, coins are fairly common, with higher grade examples, MS65, MS66, becoming scarcer. Only the top population coins in MS67 or higher are considered rare, often certified by third-party grading services such as PCGS or NGC, where they attract competitive interest from collectors. In summary, the 1985 P Washington quarter is a high mintage, copper nickel-clad coin that reflects the monetary policies and industrial demands of its era. While not rare in most conditions, it remains an integral component of U.S. coinage history and continues to be a popular collectible for enthusiasts of modern quarters, mint era hunters, and those preserving the legacy of the pre-state quarter era. Next, the United States of America quarter dollar coin, minted in 1987 with the Philadelphia mint mark P, is a significant issue within the Washington quarter series, which has been a cornerstone of U.S. coinage since its debut in 1932. The 1987 P quarter, valued at 25 cents in face value, circulated extensively during the late 1980s, a period marked by economic recovery, expanding consumer culture, and heavy reliance on physical coinage for everyday transactions. The P mint mark indicates its origin at the Philadelphia Mint, which, starting in 1980, began consistently marking its coins with this identifier, an important detail for collectors tracing mint origins. The coin is struck in the standard copper nickel-clad composition introduced in 1965 to replace 90% silver coinage. This transition was essential to preserve the U.S. Mint's ability to produce circulating coins affordably after silver prices rose dramatically in the 1960s. The clad composition consists of an inner core of pure copper sandwiched between outer layers made of a 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy. The coin weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. The reeded edge, containing 119 fine grooves, remains a traditional anti-counterfeiting measure, originally designed to prevent the shaving of precious metal from coins during the silver era. The obverse, front, of the 1987 P quarter features the enduring portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. This iconic design was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the bicentennial of Washington's birth and has remained the principal design element for over 6 decades. Above Washington's head is the inscription Liberty, while the motto "In God We Trust" appears to the left of his profile. The mint mark P is positioned to the right of the ribbon in Washington's hair, and the date, 1987, is struck along the bottom edge of the coin. The reverse, back, of the coin carries the classic heraldic eagle design, also created by Flanagan, which had adorned the Washington quarter from 1932 until the launch of the 50-state quarters program in 1999. The eagle is depicted with outstretched wings clutching a bundle of arrows symbolizing strength and defense, while 2 olive branches rest beneath to signify peace. The inscription, United States of America, arcs across the top, E pluribus unum, is inscribed above the eagle, and the denomination, quarter dollar, runs along the lower RIM. In terms of mintage, the 1987 P quarter had a production total of 562,052,000 coins, a substantial figure ensuring its widespread circulation throughout the United States. Because of this high mintage, most examples found today in circulated grades carry only their face value. However, uncirculated examples with full mint luster, strong strikes, and minimal handling marks are more sought after by collectors. Mint state coins graded MS63, MS65 generally sell for $1 to $8, while higher grade gems, MS66, MS67, are far scarcer and can command $50 to several $100 depending on quality and market demand. Exceptional specimens in MS68 are exceedingly rare and often pursued by registry set collectors. the 1987 P-quarter does not contain silver and holds no intrinsic bullion value. However, like many quarters of its era, it is known for a few collectible varieties and minting errors. These include double dies, with minor doubling occasionally seen on lettering, off-center strikes, die cracks, broad strikes, and clipped planchets. Coins with dramatic or highly visible errors are more valuable, often selling from $50 to over $300 depending on rarity and condition. Historically, the 1987 P-quarter circulated during a dynamic period in U.S. economic history. Coin-operated services such as payphones, vending machines, parking meters, and arcade games were heavily reliant on quarters, making them one of the most essential denominations of the time. This period preceded the major redesign era and represented the final decade of the classic Washington quarter design before the introduction of large-scale commemorative and state-themed issues. From a collector's standpoint, the 1987 P-quarter is not considered a key date, but it plays an essential role for those assembling a complete date and mintmark collection of Washington quarters. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, especially those with exceptional eye appeal, are considered more desirable. Grading is crucial in determining market value. Circulated grades, good through extremely fine, remain at face value. About uncirculated AU grades may carry a small premium for set collectors. Mint state grades, MS60, MS63, are relatively common, while MS64, MS65 are affordable for most collectors. MS66 coins are scarcer and may trade for $30, $60, and MS67 or better examples are rare, often exceeding $150, $250 at auction depending on population reports. The legacy of the 1987 P-quarter is tied to the broader history of the Washington Quarter Series, a design that became a symbol of American numismatic tradition for over 67 years. While not rare in circulation, pristine examples and notable minting errors offer collectors an opportunity to explore this transitional period of U.S. coinage. Just before the resurgence of collecting interest brought on by the 50-state quarters program. Next, the United States of America quarter dollar coin, minted in 1989 with the Denver Mint Mark D, is a notable issue within the Washington Quarter Series, which had been in continuous production since its first appearance in 1932. The 1989 D quarter represents the late period of the classic Washington quarter design, struck a decade before the series would transition to the 50-state quarters program in 1999 with a face value of 25 cents. It functioned as one of the most widely used and essential coins in American commerce during the late 1980s, circulating heavily in vending machines, toll booths, payphones, arcade machines, and daily transactions across the nation. The composition of the 1989 D quarter is the standard copper-nickel-clad formula adopted in 1965 after the United States discontinued the use of silver in circulating quarters. This change was primarily driven by rising silver prices that threatened the intrinsic value of coins, which risked being hoarded or melted for profit. The coin consists of an inner core of pure copper surrounded by outer layers of a 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy. It has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, a mass of 5.67 grams, and a reeded edge with 119 fine grooves, a traditional feature introduced to discourage clipping or filing of precious metal from coin edges. The obverse of the 1989 D quarter carries the familiar portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan, first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. Above Washington's head appears the word Liberty, symbolizing the nation's founding principles, while the motto "In God We Trust" is placed to the left of his profile. The date, 1989, is located at the bottom, and the D mint mark, denoting its production at the Denver Mint in Colorado, is positioned to the right of Washington's ribboned hair tie. This design remained largely unchanged throughout the clad era, offering a sense of continuity and national identity in U.S. coinage. The reverse of the coin displays the heraldic eagle motif, also by John Flanagan, which adorned the Washington quarter from 1932 until the late 1990s. The eagle is depicted with outspread wings, clutching a bundle of arrows in its talons to signify preparedness for defense, with two olive branches below symbolizing peace. Around the upper rim is the United States of America. The motto, E pluribus unum, appears just above the eagle's head, and the denomination, quarter dollar, is inscribed along the lower rim. This design became one of the most iconic and long-standing images in American coinage, representing the country's heritage during much of the 20th century. The mintage of the 1989 D quarter was substantial, with 896,535,597 coins produced at the Denver Mint, making it one of the higher mintage dates of the series. Because of this immense production, Most examples found in circulation today carry only face value in worn condition. However, their value can rise in uncirculated, mint state grades. Coins graded MS63, MS65 may fetch between $1 and $5, while higher grade gems in MS66, MS67 are scarcer and can be worth $25 to $200 or more depending on strike quality, luster, and market demand. Superb gem examples, MS68, are extremely rare and highly prized by collectors. The 1989 D quarter, like others of its era, has no intrinsic silver content and therefore holds no bullion value. However, certain varieties and minting errors make this issue more interesting to numismatists. Known errors include off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and occasional double dies on the obverse lettering or reverse details. Dramatic or high-grade error coins can command significant premiums, ranging from $50 to several $100s based on severity and collectability. This quarter circulated widely during the late 1980s, a period marked by economic expansion in the United States, increased consumerism, and heavy reliance on coinage for public services and entertainment. It was an era before the widespread adoption of credit card microtransactions and digital payments, meaning coins such as the 1989 D quarter played an essential role in everyday life. From a collector's perspective, the 1989 D is not considered a key date in the Washington Quarter series, but remains an important part of assembling a complete set of modern quarters. High-grade examples with full mint luster, minimal contact marks, and sharp strikes are the most desirable, particularly those graded by reputable third-party grading services such as PCGS or NGC. In terms of long-term collectability, the 1989 D quarter represents the tail end of an era before the dramatic shift in U.S. coinage design that began in 1999. As more collectors begin to appreciate late-clad era Washington quarters, issues like the 1989 D may gain gradual significance in the numismatic market. Grading plays a key role in determining value. Circulated grades, good to extremely fine, are worth their face value of 25 cents. About uncirculated, $50 $58 pieces may sell for slightly more to those assembling circulated sets. Mint state, MS60, MS63, examples are plentiful. MS64, MS65 are attractive and relatively affordable, and MS66, MS67 coins become considerably scarcer. In the highest grades, MS67 Plus or MS68, these coins often attract competitive bidding from registry set collectors who seek the finest known examples. To identify a genuine 1989 D quarter, collectors should observe its weight, diameter, and clad copper edge. A genuine specimen will have a distinct copper-colored core visible along the edge when viewed from the side. Any coin significantly heavier, lighter, or with an off-metal composition may represent an error or counterfeit. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.